Good evening. Hope you're all having a good day today. I want to talk to you about buy now, pay later, easy credit, which is fueling more debt, particularly amongst the young people at the moment. And the Financial Conduct Authority, or the FCA in the UK, is very worried about the fact that easy credit offered by these BNPL deals, that's nothing to do with the British National Party, that's buy now, pay later, offered by, it kind of started with a company called Klarna, a Swedish company. And the difference between buy now, pay later credit is that it's just so easy to use. It's like, if you were paying for something on PayPal and it was, £200 or $200, and then a little sign came up and said, would you like to pay this later, or would you like to pay this at the end of the month? Well, okay, why not? Just tick that and it's done. You owe that money. You're in debt by that amount of money. And if you can't pay it by the end of the month or by the end of whatever the period is, then you will start paying interest. Now you might say, well, that's the same as a credit card, isn't it? Well, not really. A credit card, you have to apply for a credit card. Well, I know the banks are throwing them at you, but at least you have to fill in a form and they check if you can afford things or not. And then you have to actually get it out of your pocket. Oh, that takes such an effort to get it out of your pocket and use it. Yeah, I know people do that already, but now it's crept into this online shopping. And in fact, one of the newspapers at the weekend said, the Sunday Times said, a payment revolution that's killing off credit cards. Well, I'm not too worried about the credit cards. I'm worried about killing off people and putting them into more debt. In fact, it's something like £14 billion worth of goods have been bought on buy now, pay later from January to March. 14 billion of goods bought on buy now, pay later from January to March. Shoppers find they've signed up without realising. Some of the companies like Klarna, next to using it, John Lewis, ClearPay, PayPal. So all these companies are using this buy now, pay later kind of debt. And I think it's millions of people now in the UK are using this. So it's something that's crept in under the radar. And this is, I think, why the FCA are worried about this. In fact, in the Standard, there was another article, which is, they say, get the most out of buy now, pay later deals without getting burned. Well, how are you going to stop getting burned if you're just buying consumer crap on credit cards or buy now, pay later, where you're paying 20, 30, 40% interest rate, buying consumer goods or crap that goes down in value? Because as soon as you buy that gadget, that item of clothing, that pair of shoes you don't need, that's gone down in value as soon as you've ordered it or taken it back to the shop. All right, you can send it back, yeah, but let's face it, we're all buying a lot of stuff that, now I don't mind borrowing where you're buying stuff that can go up in value, like an asset, like a property. I've used debt and credit to buy properties and made a lot of money out of it. But I would not have done that if I just used credit and debt to buy cars, for instance. But this is what's happening. In fact, the Standard gives some very useful advice here. It says, do make sure you can actually afford the item you are buying now using the buy now, pay later. Whoa, I'd never have thought of that one. Make sure you can afford it. Well, if you can afford it, why are you using buy now, pay later? Why not just not buy it? That's what I would say. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. I probably sound like your granddad now, but it's true, isn't it? Do not take out multiple BNPL deals. Yeah, that's fair enough. Do make sure you have enough money in the bank account when repayments are due. Whoa, wow, Sherlock, I would never have thought of that one. And don't confuse buy now, pay later with free money. Whoa, I mean, are people that stupid? It says it. There was a poster on the underground, on the tube here. I saw as I was going up the escalators, and it says, I think it was a company called BIP, the cardless credit system that you're in control of. It says you're in control of it. Well, yeah, I've heard that one before. Representative interest rate 29.9%. That's 30%. Now, base rates. Now, credit cards and these sort of deals have been 30% since I can remember. It's always been between 20 and 30%, store cards and that sort of thing. But that was when interest rates and base rates here were 12 and 10%. And yet they were charging then credit cards at, say, 18, 19, 20%, when interest rates were, at 10%, right? So maybe 8 or 9 points above the base rate, or, maybe you could say double the base rate. Now, if base rates were at 1% and they were charging 30% per annum, how many times the base rate would that make, right? 1% base rate and 30% rate. How many times the base rate is that? Well, 30, right? But now, what if the base rate is a tenth of 1% or 0.1%? How many times is that? Well, I make that 300. They're charging 300 times the base rate, of which, and the base rate means the banks can effectively get their money at these rates. Now, okay, they might pay a little bit more than the base rate. They might pay base plus 1 or 2, but still, to charge 30% it's almost criminal. It's like, I think in the Bible they call it usury, and this is it. So I would just say avoid it. Don't buy now, pay later. Save up and pay later. Could I have that? SUPL, SULP, SUPL, save up and buy later. Right, I think that's the best one. But I don't think I'd make any money out of that one. But, I've written about this in my book, Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness, that, and even people like Warren Buffett have said, buying stuff and consumer goods on credit cards, charging, I think he quoted 18%, is dumb. And that's why he owns credit card companies, because he makes a lot of money out of dumb people. Now, I'm not saying don't have a credit card, because they're very useful when you need to, you can't buy an airline ticket that easily without a credit card. The travel agents are disappearing off the street. So sometimes we need a credit card. I was using my card today, traveling around on the London Underground and the train. You just tap it there, and it's, you don't need Oyster cards and that sort of. So it's very useful as long as you can pay it off at the end of the month. And if you pay off your balance at the end of the month, traditionally credit cards do not charge interest rates. And if you pay it off at the end of the month, the banks hate you. They don't like people like you. They like people that keep the debt rolling over and rolling over and rolling over until it builds up. But bear in mind, if you buy something like on consumer, a consumer item that you can't afford, but you buy it on credit card and you say, well, I'll pay that back next year, then the item you've bought is going down in value, but the debt you have is going up in value. And how long can you keep? How long can you afford to live if you've got 30% debt hanging around your neck? It just doesn't add up. You'll be in debt for the rest of your life. You'll be in servitude to the bank. You'll be like a slave to the bank, and that's what they want. And that's why they're hitting particularly young people with these buy now, pay later deals, and it makes them a lot of money. We know that. So just be careful of that. I would avoid them, and and you think about, if you've got debt at 18-20% and you've got money in the bank earning you 0.5% or 0.25%, that doesn't add up either, does it? You may as well use that money to pay off most of your debt. Yes, you need some cash there, you need some cash reserve, but you could be earning far less on your money than you're paying on your debt. So think about that. Look, the key to building wealth and turning your finances around, apart from the obvious, and get out of consumer debt, don't be in consumer debt, that's the obvious thing. But the first step to building wealth and turning your finances around is financial education. We know that the wealthy have been studied at academic level. I've looked at it in my book, Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness. It's been studied for over 100 years in books like Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich. And, the secrets are there in print. But you don't have to read the whole books, right? We know what the habits of the wealthy, the millionaires and the billionaires are. So you can follow those habits. They leave tracks in the sand. You can follow those tracks, right? So what I'm suggesting to you is have a look at my training, because I teach people how to manage their finances, how to get out of debt, how to control their finances, and how to build wealth over time. And I can immediately give you something on a free gift to transform your wealth, your finances immediately, and lead you on the road to wealth. It's not instant wealth, by the way. It's leading you on that road to becoming financially free. So have a look at the training, click on the link below, and turn your finances around immediately and avoid that easy debt. Someone once said that fast credit should be called fast debt. Fast credit, the faster the credit, the faster you are in debt. And once you're in debt, it's very hard to catch up with it. It's like you're on a treadmill running faster and faster and you can't keep up with it anymore. So be very, very careful about getting into this sort of debt. Thanks a lot, and have a great evening, have a great day wherever you are, and I'll be with you again tomorrow. Good evening.